It's your friendly math tutor, Miss C here, to solve quadratic equations. So there are two ways to solve quadratic equations. We can solve by factoring, or we can solve using the quadratic formula. My preferred method is always factoring if possible, because I think it's faster than the quadratic formula and there's less calculator errors. So let's start by factoring, and then I'll show you how to do the same thing using the quadratic formula. So if you remember with factoring, we are looking for two numbers that multiply, in this case, to negative 18, or our C term. And those two same numbers have to add to our B term, or in this case, negative 7. So I'm trying to think about number combinations that would work. I know 1 and 18, which are both factors of 18, do not work. 2 and 9 look promising in some capacity, maybe 3 and 6. So I'm thinking 2 and 9, I could definitely make 7 using those. 3 and 6 do not work. So they have to multiply to negative 18 and add to negative 7. So that means that either the 2 or the 9 has to be negative, and then whichever one is not negative needs to be positive. So I know that if I'm going to get a negative 7, the bigger number needs to be negative. So it's going to be negative 9. So I'm going to go ahead and come down here, and I'm going to basically say we have x plus 2 and x minus 9. Okay, so it's factored form. So to solve this, what I know is that if one of these binomials equals 0, 0 times the other binomial is going to equal 0. So I need to figure out what this x needs to be in order to make this entire binomial 0. So what plus 2 makes 0? It's negative 2. That's what x would need to be. So 0 times anything is 0. And then we'll do the same thing with this one. An alternate way of thinking about this is I could say x minus 9 equals 0. And then I could solve that way by adding 9 to both sides. This is the same process that we just did to get negative 2. It's just the algebraic way. So we know that our solutions there are negative 2 and 9 are the solutions. I could plug this back in. So everywhere I see x, I could plug in negative 2. So I'm just going to do this in my head. Negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. Negative 7 times negative 2 is positive 14. And then minus 18. So I plug those in and look, I got 0. Okay, that works. And I could do the same thing with 9. 9 times 9 is 81. Negative 7 times 9 is negative 63. Minus 18, I end up with 81 minus 81. So check, check. These are the correct solutions to this problem. Now, what if I don't like factoring, or I'm not sure that factoring will work? I could use the quadratic formula. So this is the quadratic formula. I'm going to go ahead and clear this screen. This is the quadratic formula. So the first thing I always like to do when I'm going to use the quadratic formula is label my terms A, B, and C. Just as a friendly reminder, the only time you can use the quadratic formula is when your quadratic equation equals 0. So in this case, it's already equal to 0. So we are set. So in this case, A is 1. So that's the number or the coefficient directly in front of x squared when it's not written. It's 1. Remember, we don't write 1 multiplied by a number in math. We just write the number, in this case, the variable. B is negative 7. And C is negative 18. So now we are going to go ahead and we are going to plug these values in everywhere we see A, B, and C in the quadratic formula. So x equals negative, B is negative 7. So make sure not to drop that second negative. Okay, plus or minus the square root of b squared. All of b, including the negative sign, gets squared. My square is not working. Minus 4 times a times c, all divided by 2 times a. So we're going to go ahead. Negative negative 7 is positive 7, plus or minus the square root of 49 minus 72. Pause, plus 72. Sorry about that. All divided by 2. I'm going to come over here. X equals 7 plus or minus 121 is what you get underneath there, divided by 2, which equals 7 plus or minus 11 divided by 2. I'm running out of room. Sorry about that. So we have 7 plus 11 is 18 divided by 2. So that's one of our solutions. And that is 9. That's what we got. And we have 7 minus 11, which is negative 4 divided by 2, which is negative 2. So those are the exact same solutions we got. So that is how you solve a quadratic equation in 2 different ways, either by factoring or using the quadratic formula. They're interchangeable. It's the beauty of math is you get to choose what to do. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more math videos. Till next time, remember, you've got this.